at Cane Creek Baptist Church. The family will be at the home of 276 Nebraska Street, Spindale. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Betty Jean Hutchins Anderson. Pastor Jerry Hames of Bostic passed away Wednesday, May 19th. Services will be held Saturday, May 22nd at 1 p.m. at Restoration Church, 1332 Garden Brook Drive, Forest City. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Jerry Hames. Michael Long of Rutherfordton passed away Wednesday, May 19th. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Crow's Mortuary. And again, that's Michael Long. Clyde Eckel Roberts, age 70, of Spindale, died Tuesday at Accordius Health in Rutherfordton. Arrangements are pending and will be announced by the Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory. For Clyde Eckel Roberts. Bonifacia Mora de Elman, age 65, of Forest City, passed away Saturday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A mass of Christian burial will be held at 2 o'clock today at the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Bonifacia Mora de Elman of Forest City. Vernell Freeman, 89, of Bostic, died Tuesday. A graveside service will be conducted at 11 o'clock Friday at the Cedar Grove Fellowship Cemetery. Friends may visit from 4:30 until 8 o'clock Thursday tonight at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home to sign the register book and pay their respects. There will not be a formal visitation time. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Vernell Freeman. Floyd Graham Painter, Jr., 65, of Bostic, passed away Thursday, May 13th at his home. Memorial services will be held 3 p.m. Friday, May 21st at Crow's Chapel for Floyd Graham Painter, Jr., Crow's Mortuary and Crematory in charge. Debbie Ware, age 63, of Mooresboro, passed away Tuesday, May the 11th at her residence. A memorial service will be conducted at 11 o'clock Saturday, May 22nd at Victory Baptist Church in Ellenboro. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services serving the family of Debbie Ware. Jerry Wayne Randall, age 69, of Ellenboro, passed away Friday, May 14th at the Wendover Hospice House in Shelby. The family will receive friends from 11 until 12, Saturday, May 22nd, in the sanctuary at Race Path Baptist Church in Ellenboro. The memorial service follow at 12 noon. Burial of the urn will be at the Race Path Baptist Church Cemetery. Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside, serving the family of Jerry Wayne Randall. Patsy McIntyre Good, age 83, of Mooresboro, passed away Tuesday, May 18th at Rutherford Regional. The funeral service will be conducted at 11 o'clock Friday, May 21st at Trinity Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. Patsy will lie in state from 10 until 11 at the church on the day of the service. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service has been entrusted with the arrangements for Patsy McIntyre Good.
The Politico reports on a new study released by the News Guild of New York. That's the union that represents people who work there. And guess what? White men at the paper are paid better than women and minorities. Among the New York Times employees, minorities make an average of 10% less than white guys. Women make an average of 7% less than the white guys. And older women are hardest hit. Women who've been with the company for 20 years make an average 11% less than the guys. Women who've been at the Times less than 6 years have a mere 2 to 4% pay gap with men. Apparently, not only is beauty in the eye of the beholder at the New York Times, so are wages. Now, the Times doesn't only hammer the little women. Big wig women get the big diss. When the company fired Jill Abramson, their first and only female exec editor, she revealed that she'd been paid considerably less than the male editor she replaced. Now, since the New York Times loves big government so much, I expect they'll be calling for federal intervention, maybe an investigation, to force themselves to treat minorities and women fairly. Any day now. We will be waiting for it.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job, So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do you want to invest in cash flowing real estate without all of the hassles? Introducing PassiveInvesting.com, a national private equity real estate firm with over $380 million under management. We have an offering available to invest right now in an institutional level, newly built apartment community in Orlando, Florida. Only available to independently verified accredited investors. Visit PassiveInvesting.com for details on how you can invest today. That's PassiveInvesting.com.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at 2 major universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he was having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he was telling them that he was doing it as a favor to them, but I think in reality, he just wanted to get out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something was wrong.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me, and my love for him was just immense.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is 100.9 FM and the mighty 590. The best of both worlds, Rutherfordton.
Good morning. Good morning.
Jesse Tyler was a lawman who operated in Utah at the turn of the century, and as sheriff of Grand County, he was particularly tenacious in going after cattle rustlers. He not only brought in the rustlers, he also went after the stolen cattle. A bit of a portent of legal actions to come in later years, Jesse was sued by a wife of a cattle thief for taking stolen cattle from her corral. I'm sure the wife threw herself on the mercy of the court, stating that Sheriff Tyler had not only taken her husband from her, he had also taken the cattle that she was hoping to use to support her family while her husband was in jail. I don't know if it worked, but I suspect if it were tried today, she would get the cattle back and Sheriff Tyler would have been disciplined. But that wasn't Jesse Tyler's biggest mistake. For 3 weeks, Sheriff Tyler and a posse had been searching for cattle rustlers in Utah's Book Mountains. Not having much luck, the posse decided to spread out so they could cover more ground. On May 16, 1900, Sheriff Tyler and Deputy Sam Jenkins came across what they thought was an Indian camp. Possibly because of the earlier lawsuit, Sheriff Tyler was more sensitive to others' feelings, so he and Deputy Jenkins left their rifles with their horses. As they approached the camp, they discovered it wasn't Indians, but a band of rustlers led by outlaw Harvey Logan. Undergunned, they ran for their horses. Harvey Logan pulled his gun and shot them both squarely in the back. Logan wasn't concerned about political correctness. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
It's a tremendous Thursday morning and another great get-up morning here in the foothills as we turn our attention now to the call-around news report. First stop, the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Chris Francis is on the phone right now. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. Hope you're doing well this morning.
I am doing very well, enjoying a beautiful morning. How about you?
It is nice. You just be careful with the heat coming this weekend.
I know, it's going to be hot, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
What's on the news today?
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office responded to 145 calls to service. There have been 14 arrests processed in the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 170. Among those arrested by the Sheriff's Office, Anise Baumgartner, 39-year-old female boss who was charged with failure to appear, received a $350 bond. Owen Penton, a 39-year-old male boss that was charged with misdemeanor aid and abet to a crime, possession of stolen goods, he received a $2,000 secure bond. Michael Sean Green, 39-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to appear and received a $4,000 secure bond. Tammy Denise Sipes, 49-year-old female, was charged with second-degree trespassing, received a $1,000 secure bond. Lauren Viola Marie Rutherford, 40-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Jay Fletcher Fowler, 36-year-old male of Chesney, South Carolina, was charged with 9 counts of failure to appear and received a $140,000 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a fraud on Nehemiah Drive in Forest City. The victim paid $2,000 in eBay gift cards for a truck that they saw on Facebook Marketplace, and the truck was never delivered. Very, very dangerous paying in cards like that, but that was fraud. Had a breaking and entering and damage to property down Railroad Street in Mooresboro. Someone broke into a mobile home. Can't tell if there's anything missing at this point, but they did do damage to the door and on the inside. We had a missing person there on Creekside Circle in Rutherford. Green Hill Fire Department assisted. This gentleman has dementia and Alzheimer's. He was located. It's the second time, unfortunately, he has gotten away from his home. It's very scary. He is 79 years old and not in great shape, but we appreciate Green Hills Fire Department assisting the Sheriff's Office detectives and deputy sheriffs in locating him yesterday and getting him back safely to his wife. And we had an attempted B&E on Old Henrietta Road in Forest City. Suspects ran after they were seen by occupants of residence. They were turning the knob on a back door, but weren't welcome guests, and they contacted us, unable to locate them, but we do believe that they had ill intentions late last night on that, so we did do a report for attempted B&E. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Had another busy 24 hours, it sounds like.
Yes, sir, it was.
And I hate to hear about people scamming other people all the time.
Yeah, anytime somebody says to go get some kind of card for a payment and give you the numbers off the back of that card, that is a red flag. Please don't do it. No matter how good the offer sounds, it is a scam.
Yeah, exactly right. Thanks, Sheriff. I appreciate it. You have a great day and be safe out there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya. Sheriff Chris Francis reporting in, 19 past 7.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherford.
And let's see what's on the report from 911 Communication Center. And Amber's here to report to us. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. What's on your report?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 470 911 calls and administrative calls, which consists of 46 calls for EMS and 18 for rescue. For law enforcement, there were 145 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 69 for Forest City, 6 for Lake Lure, 53 for Rutherfordton, and 65 for Spindale. And for fire calls, Forest City responded to a motor vehicle accident. Hudlow responded to a structure fire with Union Mills, Forest City, and Rutherfordton assisting. Rutherfordton responded to an industrial fire alarm, and Spindale responded to a structure fire with Rutherfordton assisting. And that's all.
Thanks, Amber. You have a great day, okay? Thank you.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Here's Ruby Taylor. She has the SDO, Shiloh, Danieltown, Oakland Fire District report. Ruby, how are you?
I'm okay.
What's on the report?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. On my birthday, I got Kyle Sisk, Elaine Hollyfield, and Margaret Bright having birthdays, and hope these people have a nice day. Sandra in the bows today and going to the range tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
Have a good day, Ruby.
You too.
Bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Now let's see what Gary Wilson has to say this morning from up the Fairfield Mountains Fire District. Gary, how are you?
I'm doing good. Looks like the heat's getting ready to come in here, Jim.
I'll tell you, we better turn the air conditioner on full speed.
Yeah, they kicked on a little bit yesterday, and it's going to get cranking up pretty good the next few days, sounds like.
I hope the humidity factor is not too high. Maybe we can undertake the heat without the humidity.
Yeah, it's not bad out there this morning, about 56 degrees, and humidity's down right now, but we're going to get up in the 80s today and around 90 by the weekend, so it's going to get there. But we've had a pretty quiet day. We had one call in the last 24 hours for motor vehicle accident, property damage only, and that's the only call we've had. I think Bills Creek's been pretty quiet, so kind of peaceful up here right now, but got the holiday coming up next weekend, so I'm sure we're going to have a lot of people coming in, so we'll get prepared for that and welcome on here. It'll be good to see people around for a change for a holiday.
Yeah.
Strange year for the last year.
Be good to see them coming through the mountains, won't it?
It will. It'll be good to see them coming back in. And that's about all we got to report up here this morning, Jim.
Gary, thank you very much. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Take care then.
Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Now 7:25. Let's turn to our attention to my friend Bob Hodge over in the Hudlow Fire District. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good Thursday morning.
How you feeling this morning?
Well, feeling pretty good this morning.
Good.
I believe I'll make another day.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
You're looking good this morning. That sun's coming up hot and bright now.
It's going to be a hot one today.
Oh, we're getting back to summertime again. There.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jim, up here with the fire department, we had one structure fire call during the night and assisted by Relton and Union Mills on Highway 64. And other than that, things have been pretty quiet and things are going along good so far this morning, and maybe be pretty quiet with us today, and everybody get out and enjoy this sunshine and drink plenty of lemonade today.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or maybe some sweet iced tea. That'd be good.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Lemonade or iced tea there would taste good about 1 or 2 o'clock today there.
They would. Boy, now you're talking my terms.
Yeah. Well, Jim, you take care, and you have a good day, and we'll talk to you in the morning.
Bye-bye. Appreciate it. Have a good one now. So long.
All right. Bye-bye.
Braves had a good night last night over the Mets. They beat them 5-4. Acuna hit a home run in the bottom of the ninth and settled that game. And they will be playing tonight Pittsburgh. They're moving to Pittsburgh Pirates game. And that's the 7:15 first pitch, and we'll be there for it. We'll join the pregame following News 13 at 6. Wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you, and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net. I'm sure the sun is beginning to shine over in the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue Price is there to report to us other activities that might be taking place. Sue, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Jim. I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
It's a beautiful morning over here this morning. Sun's out and the birds are around the feeder and everything's looking good.
How can anybody be sleeping in on a morning like this, huh?
Well, let's see. I had no calls from the fire department. I have no birthdays on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I've got Chase Price and Hannah Abbey, so they'll have a good day. And Fairview has a birthday for Leslie Melton, so I hope Leslie's going to have a good day. And nothing on First Broads this morning, so not too many people celebrating them that I know of, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. They got a beautiful day for it. And in my announcements, the Douglas Creek Presbyterian Church will be having their memorial service Sunday, the 6th of May. And just June, 6th of June, so, and we'll have the Piney Mountain Boys, so we'll have a good day, I hope. And looks like we're going to have a warm weekend this weekend, doesn't it?
I believe we are, for sure.
I believe I'll stay in where it's cool. Well, I hope you'll have a good day today, Jim.
You too, Sue. Enjoy, and I will see you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's Cherry Mountain checking in this morning. And when you have those dress-up affairs you need to go to, maybe a prom or graduation or wedding reception, you need something nice to wear, go by Joyce Bridle there at the Tri-City Mall. She got a great selection. She'll be glad to talk with you about that. You can rent or buy, and they got seamstresses in there that can sew it up, take it down, let it out, whatever you need done. And a tremendous selection of jewelry, ladies, that you'll appreciate getting to know where they are. All kinds, silver and gold and all the dangly kind, or the kind that don't dangle. Whatever you like in jewelry, you can find it, I'll bet you, there at Joyce Bridle. Go see Joy in Joyce Bridle. There in the Tri-City Mall, for sure.
Good morning. As we are experiencing the impact of COVID-19, let's stop predicting and let's prepare. Life changes, and then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called the unexpected. So when it comes to your financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm your Edward Jones financial advisor, Andrew Tisdale. A job loss, a change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call me today at 828-287-9197. Our office is located at Food Line Plaza in Rutherton. This is Edward Jones, making sense of investing and a member of the SIPC. Bye.
Now, Jessica's on the phone with me. Jessica, what's new and exciting around the Drop-In Family Mart there in Boston?
Me, I'm here.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
How are you?
Good. Looking forward to another day,
Yes.
glad we're alive and well.
Yes, most definitely. It's going to be warm out there today, too, ain't it?
Yes, you got plenty of ice cream over there?
Ice cream, yes, we do. As a matter of fact, our truck come in yesterday morning, so we do have plenty of ice cream. Also, remember, we have for reals. They're $2.99 a piece. We have different types. We have chocolate. We have vanilla, strawberry banana. We have cake batter. That cake batter is really good. We have Reese cup. All of them are $2.99 a piece. So if you're looking for a milkshake, come on down and see us. We got them. If you don't know how to make it, we can show you how to make it. Our truck come in yesterday morning, so we have fresh produce. I'm cooking bacon as we speak right now in the deli, so come on down and see me this morning and get some breakfast. We have bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits. We have sausage biscuits, gravy biscuits. We have pizza. We also have the small hash browns. You can get a small order for a small. Hold on, let me make sure I'm correct. A small order you can get for $1.39, and a large order you can get for $1.99. And they're really, really good. In the meat department, we have the grass-fed ribeye steak for $11.99 a pound. We have porterhouse steak. It's great on the grill for $11.99 a pound. And that's really good, too. It looks good. So come on down and see us. We don't have gas as we speak. Hopefully soon we'll have gas. I know a lot of people are getting frustrated. We are, too. But hopefully we'll be getting gas soon. Also, remember, our hours are Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., and then Sundays the deli's closed, but the stores are open from 11 to 6. And I'm just going to put this out there one more time. I hate to say it like this, but Drop-In is in desperate need of help at all stores, cashier, deli, whatever position, part-time, full-time. So if anybody is interested, please come by and see me, Audrey, or you can go by the office and fill your application out, and they can give it to us, and we'll go from there. But we are in desperate need. I hate to say that, but we are. A lot of people are.
Yes.
So if you're looking for a job, come see us.
That's exactly right. A lot of people looking for people to go to work, and people just don't want to go to work, I'm afraid.
No, they don't. And I don't understand it.
I don't either. People like you enjoy working, don't we?
I do.
Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you're doing over there. You keep up the good work, and we'll check back in with you next week.
All right. Thank you. I hope you have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Jessica there at the Drop-In Family Mart in Boston, right across from the post office.
What do the days of the week, the seas, and the colors in a rainbow have in common? Did you guess the number 7? There's no denying 7's power. It's elemental. Unlock that power with new 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery with over $160 million in total prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.12 to 4.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company. Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company. Jackson, Mississippi. An independent licensee of the Blue Cross
Well, up in
Mutual
Shingle
Association.
Hollow is a lady that hangs around up there named Tina White. We'd like to get a report from her sometime. How you doing?
I'm doing great this Thursday morning. I like to hang around up here in Shingle Hollow. You are so correct. Sun's peeking over my neighbor's house this morning, and not just peeking, it's shining bright.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a warm day, like everybody's saying. It is, I forgot what the temperature was, 59 degrees right now on the front porch. Shingle Hollow didn't have any fire calls. Green Hill had a missing person, and they assisted in finding him, and I'm so glad they were able to find him. Birthday calendars, all of them they're empty today. No birthdays. Nobody's celebrating up here. White House Community Clubhouse is having an all-you-can-eat buffet breakfast this Saturday, May 22nd, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Have anything you could want for breakfast. Homemade breakfast. All you can eat, $6 for adults, $5 for ages 6 to 12, and 5 and under is free. So come on out and have a good breakfast. That's about all we got going on up here.
All right, Tina, thanks for the good information, and you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Be
Everybody
careful.
be safe.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
Now up to Union Mills. Here we go. Up to Union Mills. Here we go. Brenda Kelly, good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this tremendous Thursday morning?
I'm feeling good. It's a beautiful
Feeling
day.
mighty fine?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Feeling mighty fine. I still got a little allergy congestion, but other than that, life's good.
I don't think it's going to go away, the allergy. It's terrible. I think it's been worse this year. It has for me than any other year.
I think it has too. It has for me, and I heard other folks say the same thing. It seems like it's just sort of lingering. It's not going away.
I know it. But we hope everybody's having a good day. Let's see, I've got 52 degrees on the front porch this morning. And in ways of announcement, White House Community Breakfast, May the 22nd, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Price is adults $6, children 6 to 12, $3, 5 and under's free. And then on June the 4th, 33 and a third band will be at the Union Mills Learning Center. They have a meal that starts at 6 p.m. That's $5, and the band will start at 7 p.m., and there's no cost for the band, but you do have a tip jar for them. And other than that, I don't have nothing. So.
All right, now she's quiet.
You didn't get to talk to Luther yesterday, did you?
No, we didn't. He was not, didn't answer his phone.
Bless his heart. He's just having a time of it. Yeah, I hope he's better. But I don't know of anything going on, so I guess you might need to go see if he's doing okay.
Okay, maybe we can get a substitute over there this morning. We'll see what's happening.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You have a great day up there.
Have a good one. Catch you later.
Bye-bye. All right, it's 40 minutes after 7, and we are going to check in over at Ellenborough now and see what's going on.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
All right, we're moving now over to Ellenboro to get to Ellenboro News. And on the phone with you right now is Linda Gilligan, Luther's wife. Linda, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you doing? Good to have you
Well, we're doing pretty good.
Good to have you on the radio this morning. How's Luther doing?
Well, he's doing pretty good. He's his main problem right now is that he can't talk because of what the anesthesiologist put down his throat and all. He can't get his voice back. And that's hard for him when he can't talk. So he's doing pretty bad when you think about that. But overall, he's improving.
He is recuperating some better with after his surgery.
Yes, he is. He's doing pretty good with that. If he can get his voice back, I'm afraid I'm going to live hard because he's going to be wanting lots of stuff.
He'll have to play catch up, won't he?
That's right. He'll be telling me all this stuff he's been meaning to tell me. And it might not all be good.
Oh, I know. Anything happen over that you know about?
Well, no, we don't even have any birthdays today. And the fire department says they didn't have anything. They got to sleep last night. And I know that made them happy and made everybody else happy, too, because they didn't have to have them come.
That's right.
So everything's doing good down here. So we appreciate the call and appreciate for everybody thinking about him and all the prayers.
Linda, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate the update, and you can fill in with Luther anytime you want to. You've done a good job.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much.
Have a great day.
I might have to take over his job.
There you go. We'll,
okay.
If he don't shape up, we may have to put you in his place.
That's right. I'll threaten him with that now. He'll get better.
Give him my regards.
I'll tell him.
Thanks,
okay,
Linda.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. That's Linda Gilligan reporting in this morning from Ellenboro in the place of Luther, who is recuperating. It's time now for birthdays and anniversaries here on the program. You can call in at 287-3356, 287-3356, birthdays and anniversaries. And this is for the 20th, May the 20th, birthdays and anniversaries, and we'd love to celebrate with you. Many folks ask us when we're doing donuts again. I don't know the answer to that, but we may again someday, but we do encourage you to call your birthdays in. And anytime you can, we want you to head on up to Washburn Community, the Washburn store. Someone told me the other day that they live, I forget where they said they live. I believe maybe Cliffside maybe. They said every opportunity they get to drive up there, they like to do that. And when friends come by, they say, what's that name of that store you like to go to? And they say, Washburn General Store. So they head off up there and browse around. We generally find some things from hardware to software to garden seeds to bologna, sandwiches, bread, cheese, you name it, it's there, and you're always met with a friendly smile. Why don't you give it a try? If you've never been and you live in Rutherford County, shame on you. Break that seal right now and make an appointment to go there this weekend. Between Boston and Sunshine on the Boston Sunshine Highway, you can't miss them. Beautiful section of Rutherford County. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today. While they're fresh, they're good, they're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. And Granny B's now is priding themselves in a great pizza selection, too. If you're buying a pizza, give them an opportunity to show you what they can do with their pizza. It's delicious. They got several choices, too, several toppings you can pick and go with. So try the pizza at Granny B's. You can call it in. They'll have it ready for you when you get there, or you can go by and eat it there. Either way, they got a great little place over there. Pizza now is one of their specialties at Granny B's there in Spindale. We're birthday. Tammy Whitener of Forest City celebrating a birthday today. So happy birthday, Tammy. And many more happy returns. We hope it's going to be a good day for you on this celebration of your birthday. You're all alone out there celebrating your birthday today, so make it a good one. And coming up, Keys to Confident Living. And next hour, bottom of the hour, 8:30, we have Ray Rice coming in the studio with me this morning. Todd will behave himself, I guarantee, when he gets here. But he'll talk about his history and his great contributions to the character building of young people. Ray Rice coming in just a little while. Stand by.
Smells can either create a negative response or a positive one. A positive response is what I sense when I get a whiff of some of my wife's perfume. It reminds me that she is in my presence, and I love it. The Bible says Christians are to God the aroma of Christ, and to others the fragrance of life. Malcolm Muggeridge wrote the following about Mother Teresa. Doing something beautiful for God is for Mother Teresa what life is about. Everything, if it is for God, becomes beautiful, whatever it may be. Mother Teresa and the missionaries of charity provide a living witness to the power and truth of what Jesus came to proclaim. His light shines in them. When I think of them in Calcutta, as I often do, it is not the bare house in a dark slum that is conjured up in my mind, but a light shining and joy abounding. I see them diligently and cheerfully constructing something beautiful for God out of the human misery and affliction that lies around them. One of their leper settlements is near a slaughterhouse, whose stench in the ordinary way might easily make you retch. There, with Mother Teresa, I scarcely noticed it. Another fragrance had swallowed it up. You may find yourself in a situation where the stench is not good. God challenges you to let your life be the sweet aroma that brings honor to His name and swallows up the putrid. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
This is 100.9 FM and the Mighty 590. 590 AM WCAB Rutherfordton.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Another night of fighting in the Middle East, new rocket attacks and new airstrikes. However, there are some signs that things could be calming soon. ABC's Matt Gutman is in Israel.
With more than 250 Palestinians killed and over 70,000 bombed out of their homes, President Biden calling for de-escalation to begin yesterday, a demand Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu has so far ignored, saying he's determined to continue this operation until its objective is achieved.
ABC's Karen Travers says there are questions about what the White House wants Israel to do and when.
Despite President Biden's call for a significant de-escalation to begin on Wednesday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he is, quote, determined to continue this operation until its aim is met. Israel on Thursday continuing its airstrikes targeting Hamas facilities and military infrastructure. The White House has not answered questions about what it considers significant de-escalation to be and what happens if Israel does not meet this demand by President Biden. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
The House voting to form a 9/11-style bipartisan commission to investigate the January 6th Capitol riot. Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell says he does not support the congressional inquiry, says he will vote against it. Texas, the state where Roe v. Wade originated, is now home to one of the most restrictive abortion laws in the country.
The bill was intentionally crafted to allow anyone to sue an abortion provider who performs a procedure after a fetal heartbeat is detected. The problem, says Drusilla Tigner of the ACLU of Texas, is that
in Texas law and in federal law, you have to be injured to be able to sue and to be able to recover damages.
the new statute includes an exception to cases in which the mother's life is in danger, but not in cases of pregnancy resulting from rape or incest. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
In about a half hour, we find out the number of Americans who filed first-time unemployment benefits last week. You're listening to ABC News.
This is good news, maybe exactly when you need it to. Right now, MediShare is waiving their new member fees. This could save you money on top of all that you'll save each month by becoming a member of MediShare. So many people are looking for a healthcare solution right now, seeing the cost of COBRA plans, for instance, and MediShare is the affordable alternative to health insurance. The typical family saves $500 a month. You might save even more. MediShare is a Christian community that shares each other's healthcare costs, and because of the current economic situation, they're making it easier than ever. Apply by May 30th, and you can save an additional $170 on your first month. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Just tell them the promo code SHARE to receive your additional savings. Maybe now is the time to make the switch like more than 400,000 people already have and start saving. Here it is. Call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE, 877-26-BIBLE.
President Biden set to sign the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act this afternoon. The bill, passing both houses of Congress overwhelmingly, put together in response to rising levels of hate crimes against Asian Americans during the coronavirus pandemic. It's back to court today for 3 former Minneapolis police officers facing charges in connection with the death of George Floyd. Prosecutors want to add new charges of aiding and abetting third-degree murder to the case. Former cop Derek Chauvin was convicted of murder last month. The Sunshine State on the verge of allowing betting on sports. ABC's Tony Marino has the story from Orlando.
The Florida House Wednesday voted 97-17 in favor of a 30-year gambling deal made between Governor Ron DeSantis and the Seminole Tribe, which currently operates several major casinos in the state. The Florida Senate had already approved the measure. Representative Randy Fine.
Think about what could happen in your districts with $1.5 million, because that is what the Seminoles are promising right now.
The deal is estimated to bring in at least $500 million a year in new revenue. First, the feds have to sign off on it, and it's likely to face several court challenges. Tony Marino, ABC News, Orlando, Florida.
The world's largest iceberg has now cut loose from the edge of Antarctica. It was spotted recently by satellites and is over 100 miles long, roughly 15 miles wide. That makes it about 4 times the entire size of New York City. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Ready for an oil change? Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts recommend all the best products to get the job done right. Like 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil on sale now just $28.95. And we'll make sure you have all the supplies you need, including a filter, funnel, shop towels, drain pan, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Jesse James Railroad Express is becoming the Rutherford County hotspot with new lunch menu, quarter-pounder Angus beef burger topped with bacon, cheddar cheese, bang bang sauce, and onion rings, or the new 5-3-1 burger, half-pound charbroiled Angus burger with special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a toasted bun. It's everything that Big Mac wishes it could be. On top of that, milkshakes, hand-dipped ice cream also available. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 until 4. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Call them at 828-447-4644. 99-cent hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions, Mondays only. That's 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton. All aboard.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. We'll see a mostly sunny sky with warmer temperatures this afternoon. Expect highs in the mid to upper 80s for today. Mostly clear skies staying mild overnight tonight. Will be in the upper 50s Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see another mostly sunny sky with temperatures in the low to mid 80s for highs. But then temperatures soar this weekend. Upper 80s and low 90s on Saturday. Low 90s potentially for everyone on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
Got a little ways to go yet before we reach our high of 84. We are at 60 now, according to Peter the meter reader, and warming up each day. Tomorrow, it'll be 86. Then on Saturday, 88. On Sunday, 91. On Monday, 92. Then it starts dropping again, back down to 90. So it's warm weather for sure here in the foothills. Thanks for joining us for the third hour of the morning wake-up call. So we'll get to yab at you a little bit, talk to you. Special guest scheduled to be here this morning is Ray Rice, very popular martial arts instructor. Been doing this a long time. He's here, will be here this morning to talk about that, hopefully. Got some news from here and there. First of all, a Henderson County woman is now indicted in the stabbing death of her daughter. This week, a grand jury indicted Penny Hartle on a charge of first-degree murder. Authorities say she stabbed 5-year-old Caroline Cagle at her home last month. Hartle remains in jail. She's expected in court today. The Henderson County District Attorney dropped the charges against one of the suspects in connection with the murder of Thomas Bryson. Philip Stroop Sr. was charged with accessory after the fact. His son, Philip Stroop II, is scheduled to stand trial in July, 4 years after Bryson's murder. Other news from here and there coming up right after this.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are two ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Stories we're looking at this morning from various sources. The Forest City Police Department is still requesting the public's assistance in identifying a larceny suspect. Suspect is a white female who stole the victim's debit card before proceeding to use it to buy $400 worth of items. This all occurred at the Forest City Walmart. Suspect left the area in a dark-in-color Nissan Rogue with a South Carolina tag. The last three digits of the tag are 267. If you know anything about this, please contact Patrolman Phil Arnett with the Forest City Police Department at 828-286-2911 with more information. Well, the Spindale Town Council now is considering a new budget for the next fiscal year, one that maintains the current tax rate of 64.3 cents per $100 property valuation. At the council meeting Monday evening, Town Manager Scott Weber presented the proposed 21-22 budget. The entire budget totals nearly $3.8 million. The general fund reflects an increase of approximately 7% over the current fiscal year, but officials pointed out that the current year was down almost 15% due to COVID-19 pandemic. He also acknowledged that the original fears about how the pandemic would negatively impact the town from a financial standpoint did not come to fruition. So they are considering keeping the budget, maintains the current tax rate, as some other towns are also been able to do. Weber thanked the council and other staff members for their support and assistance in preparing the fiscal year 21-22 budget. Public hearing will be held on the budget at the council's June 21st meeting. The budget is expected to be adopted following the public hearing. The budget is available for review at Town Hall. In other businesses, at the Monday council meeting, 3 Spindale police officers were officially promoted to sergeant. That'll be Josh Adams, Colin Cope, and Daniel Edwards. Also, Herbie Martin, who was recently promoted as sergeant, was recognized. The North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission, North Carolina Highway Patrol, and Mothers Against Drunk Driving will kick off their annual On the Road, On the Water, Don't Drink and Drive campaign with events and safety checkpoints throughout the state during Memorial Day weekend. The multi-agency safety initiative works to reduce an alcohol-related incident on the state's roadways and waterways, both of which see increased traffic during those summer months. Starting May 28th, law enforcement officers will be conducting sobriety checkpoints and promoting public awareness to deter impaired operation of cars and boats on various bodies of water and highways. In North Carolina, a driver or vessel operator with a blood alcohol concentration that meets or exceeds 0.08 or is substantially impaired by alcohol or drugs is subject to arrest, and they're going to put big emphasis on that during the Memorial Day weekend, as they should. If you're mature enough, big enough, old enough to own a car or a boat, you ought to be mature, old enough to know not to drink and drive it. Well, newly released figures from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention indicate more than 1,100 people in the U.S. have been hospitalized with COVID-19 after getting fully vaccinated against the coronavirus, and more than 220 have died. As of May 10th, the exact numbers are 1,136 hospitalizations and 223 deaths among fully vaccinated people. The CDC noted, quote, the number of COVID-19 vaccine breakthrough infections reported to CDC likely are an undercount of all SARS-CoV-2 infections among fully vaccinated persons. National surveillance relies on passive and volunteer reporting, and data might not be complete or representative. These surveillance data are a snapshot and help identify patterns and look for signals among vaccine breakthrough cases. The term breakthrough cases refers to cases, hospitalizations, or deaths among people who've had at least 2 weeks since getting their final inoculation. The health agency says of the 223 people who died after being fully vaccinated, 42 were asymptomatic or not related to COVID-19, while 342 of the hospitalizations were asymptomatic or not related to COVID-19. The Epoch Times reported Rochelle Walensky, director of the CDC, said on CNN Sunday, many hospitals are screening people for COVID when they come in, so not all of those 223 cases who were COVID actually died of COVID. They may have had mild disease, but died, for example, of a heart attack, and it was written down as COVID. 13 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock, 9:05 this morning, My Great America with Jim and Butch. Interesting perspectives on what's great about America. We'll talk about that. Well, here's positive proof that America was defined by 1726, not 1619. The late historian Elizabeth Fox Eugene Genovese, Greed Williams pointed out that what was unique about slavery in America was both the brevity of its existence and the moral outrage that arose against it. Recently, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, sent a letter to Education Secretary Miguel Cardona in which he expressed grave concern about the Biden administration's plan to implement the New York Times 1619 project into school curriculums across America. The reason for McConnell's grave concern for the 1619 project paints America as inherently racist and corrupt and in need of fundamental transformation. According to those who propagate this myth, 1619, when the first African slaves were brought to these shores, defined America and her true founding, not 1776. That's what they're trying to get across. This narrative is already being taught in many public schools and has even infiltrated Christian schools. A distraught parent recently contacted Breaking Christian News writer Eddie Hyatt to tell them of her daughter being taught in her Christian school that America's founders were bad people and only wanted freedom for themselves. So that's what some of the schools are being taught. The situation is critical, for as Alexander Solzhenitsyn said, quote, "To destroy a people, you must first sever their roots," end quote. To destroy a people, you must first sever their roots. Is that why they're trying to destroy our history, take away all our monuments, and declare that those things that we're remembering history was not a good thing, did not happen, destroy our roots, to destroy our people? If we do not preserve our roots, the America of Washington, Jefferson, Madison, Lincoln, and Martin Luther King will be no more. What a tragedy that would be for America and for all mankind. We got to preserve our roots. 1726 is the key for interpreting our history. Slavery is a horrible blight on America's past and could have defined the country had it not been for 1726. That year, a great spiritual awakening began, which profoundly transformed colonial America. Racial and cultural barriers were breached, and an abolition movement was ignited that eventually brought about the end of slavery on this continent. Instead of being defined by 1619, America became defined by 1726 as a land of faith and freedom. The key to preserving our history and confronting the 1619 myth is to understand what happened beginning in 1726. Interpreting America's history in the light of 1726 changes everything. Some historical facts from the 1726 narrative that completely undermine the 1619 myth about America. For instance, slavery was not unique to America. Slavery is part of a sinful humanity and has been practiced by many people in civilization for thousands of years. Slavery was being practiced in Africa, Asia, the Middle East, and many parts of the world when the first African slaves were brought to America in 1619. Are we being taught all that stuff? This is one of the late Dr. Walter E. Williams, who was professor of economics at George Mason University and who happened to be black, said that slavery in America was neither odd nor strange. He pointed out, and I heard him do this sometime when he was filling in for Rush Limbaugh a number of years ago. He filled in for Rush. He pointed out that at the beginning of the 19th century, an estimated 3/4 of all people alive were trapped in bondage against their will, either in some form of slavery or serfdom. Williams also pointed out that what was unique about slavery in America was both the brevity of its existence and the moral outrage that arose against it. The late historians Elizabeth Fox Eugene Genovese agreed, saying this: Europeans did not outdo others in enslaving people or treating slaves viciously. They outdid others by creating a Christian civilization that eventually stirred moral condemnation of slavery and roused mass movements against it. Another fact to remember, moral outrage arose against slavery in colonial America. As documented in a book, 1726, a powerful anti-slavery movement emerged out of the great spiritual awakening that wrought colonial America in the 18th century. Second-generation awakening preachers then began to attack the institution of slavery around 1750. Samuel Hopkins, for example, who had been personally tutored by Jonathan Edwards, was outraged by what he saw while pastoring in Newport, Rhode Island, an important hub in the transatlantic slave trade. He declared, quote, "This whole country have their hands full of blood this day." In 1774, after the First Continental Congress had convened in Philadelphia, Hopkins sent a pamphlet to every member of the Congress asking how they could complain about enslavement to England and overlook its enslavement of so many blacks in the colonies. As liberty was becoming a watchword throughout the colonies, the preachers of the awakening began applying it to enslaved in America. Like Hopkins, they pointed out the hypocrisy of demanding freedom from England while continuing to tolerate the institution of slavery in their midst. Baptist preacher John Allen thundered, "Blush ye pretended votaries of freedom, you trifling patriots. We're making a vain parade of being advocates for the liberties of mankind, who are thus making a mockery of your profession by trampling on the sacred natural rights and privileges of Africa." Well, out of the Christian awakening, the moral and spiritual forces were unleashed that would eventually bring about the end of slavery on this continent. So they're trying to change our history. Don't let them do it, folks. Check the textbooks of your students and grad students. Check what they're reading, what their assigned reading assignments are. Make sure it's not a revisionism of history. 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. The Sheriff's Report with Sheriff Francis coming up here in just a few.
Whether you're buying or selling, downsizing or expanding, relocating or vacationing, RE/MAX Journey agents have the tools and experience to help you to go from sale to sold. That's why no one sells more homes than RE/MAX. Don't worry, they've done this a million times. Download the new RE/MAX app today. Visit the local RE/MAX Journey team at 121 Laurel Drive in Rutherfordton or call them at 828-395-2222.
Each office independently owned and operated.
I'm happy to share good news with you. If you have a septic tank on your property, you'll be glad to know there is a new professional pumper in town, Mid-South Pumping, owned and operated by one of our own, John Torvinen. Mid-South Pumping serves local communities such as Rutherford, Polk, Cleveland, McDowell, and Lake Lure, offering a wide variety of services at affordable prices. Get it done before summer gets here and really gets bad, if you know what I mean. Mid-South Pumping offers around-the-clock services to ensure your business doesn't become everyone else's. Count on Mid-South Pumping for pumping septic tanks, locating services, uncovering septic tank lids, and more. Make that call to Mid-South Pumping in Rutherfordton at 828-755-6280. Well, it's going to get hot these next few days, and you know what that means. If your septic tank needs pumping, go ahead and call Mid-South today and get it done, because these temperatures, they're not forgiving. They're not forgiving, and you can get that taken care of real quickly. Sheriff Francis was on with us earlier this morning. He gave us a report from the Sheriff's Department. We recorded it for broadcast at this time. Sheriff?
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 145 calls to service. There have been 14 arrests processed in the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 170. Among those arrested by the Sheriff's Office, Anise Baumgartner, 39-year-old female boss that was charged with failure to appear, received a $350 bond. Owen Penton, a 39-year-old male boss that was charged with misdemeanor aid and abet to a crime, possession of stolen goods, he received a $2,000 secure bond. Michael Sean Green, 39-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to appear and received a $4,000 secure bond. Tammy Denise Sipes, 49-year-old female, was charged with second-degree trespassing, received a $1,000 secure bond. Lauren Viola Marie Rutherford, 40-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. J. Fletcher Fowler, 36-year-old male of Chesney, South Carolina, was charged with 9 counts of failure to appear and received a $140,000 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a fraud on Nehemiah Drive in Forest City. The victim paid $2,000 in eBay gift cards for a truck that they saw on Facebook Marketplace, and the truck was never delivered. Very, very dangerous paying in cards like that, but that was fraud. Had a breaking and entering and damage to property down Railroad Street in Mooresboro. Someone broke into a mobile home. Can't tell if there's anything missing at this point, but they did do damage to the door and on the inside. We had a missing person there on Creekside Circle in Rutherford. Green Hill Fire Department assisted. This gentleman has dementia and Alzheimer's. He was located. It's the second time, unfortunately, he has gotten away from his home. It's very scary. He is 79 years old and not in great shape, but we appreciate Green Hills Fire Department assisting the Sheriff's Office detectives and deputy sheriffs in locating him yesterday and getting him back safely to his wife. We had an attempted B&E on Old Henrietta Road in Forest City. suspects ran after they were seen by occupants of residence. They were turning the knob on a back door, but weren't welcome guests, and they contacted us, unable to locate them, but we do believe that they had ill intentions late last night on that, so we did do a report for attempted B&E. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Sebastian Aho scored twice for the Hurricanes, including an early power play goal, and Alex Nedeljkovic was perfect in net for the Canes, who blanked the Predators 3-0 last night at the PNC Arena and now have a 2-0 lead in their Central Division first-round playoff series. The flow to last night's game was more of a logjam. Chippy play led to the teams combining for 14 penalties. Officials raised their hands more often than the eager kid in class with all the answers. Canes head coach Rod Brindamore talked about the tension between the two teams, who became very familiar with each other during the course of the season's modified regular season format.
This first round's always this way. Everyone's so excited to be playing finally really meaningful games, and then, as it goes on, I find it gets less and less, as, if you can make it out of these rounds, because just the energy just gets sapped out of you a little bit. But right now everyone's on full adrenaline, and that's kind of how these games go.
Nedeljkovic, the Canes rookie goalie, humble in stopping all 32 shots he faced last night in just his second postseason start, talked about having to kill off 7 man-advantage situations.
It seemed like more than 7 tonight, but it's just another game. That's how I look at it, and that's how I try to go about every day. It's a game. Hopefully good things happen.
The series now shifts to Nashville for games 3 and 4. Elsewhere last night, the Bruins edged the Capitals 3-2 in double OT and now have a 2-1 lead in their East Division first-round series. Colorado beat St. Louis to take a 2-0 lead in their West best-of-7. In Game 1 of the All-Canada North Division Series last night, Winnipeg beat Edmonton 4-1.
Ground ball to Gleyber Torres, and that'll do it. A no-hitter for Corey Kluber.
Michael Kay with the call on the Yes Network as righty Corey Kluber pitched the Majors' 6th no-hitter of the season and second in 2 days in a 2-0 win over the Rangers. It marks the MLB's first no-hitters on consecutive days since 1969. This is NCN Sports.
With Mitsubishi Electric's ductless heating and air conditioning systems, any home, any building, anywhere can have zoned or room-by-room temperature control, so you can cool the home office without cooling the whole house. And because they're ductless, you can finish your basement without adding ductwork. Did we mention they're also up to 40% more efficient than conventional systems? Upgrade to comfort without compromise. To learn more, text COMFORT-NC to 41300.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops in 2020 and 2021. Our philosophy is simple. Be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
LeBron James made a long go-ahead three-pointer with 58.2 seconds remaining and rallied Los Angeles to a 103-100 victory over the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference play-in tournament game. James finished with 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists for his 6th triple-double of the season. Anthony Davis scored 13 of his 25 points in the fourth quarter, and the Lakers overcame 37 points from the league-scoring champ Steph Curry. The Lakers earned the 7th seed for the playoffs in the first-round matchup with the second-seeded Phoenix Suns. Golden State will host Memphis for the 8th seed on Friday. And while the NHL playoffs are in full swing, there is one game on the regular season to get out of the way. Matthew Tkachuk scored twice, and the Calgary Flames beat Vancouver 6-2 in the final regular season game. Both teams eliminated from the playoffs, but they had to make those games up for perfunctory reasons. Josh, Zach.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. We'll see a mostly sunny sky with warmer temperatures this afternoon. Expect highs in the mid to upper 80s for today. Mostly clear skies staying mild overnight tonight. Will be in the upper 50s Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see another mostly sunny sky with temperatures in the low to mid 80s for highs. But then temperatures soar this weekend. Upper 80s and low 90s on Saturday. Low 90s potentially for everyone on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood, 62 degrees currently and sun shining. It's warming up nicely. We started out at 57 this morning at 5 o'clock, and now we're up to 62 degrees and warming up today to 86. Make that 84 today, 86 tomorrow. have a special guest in the studio with me this morning to talk about some interesting things, and we'll do that after we have a little bite of fudge.
What's the reason to stop by America's Fudge Shop? Any reason is the best reason. Who can resist a slice of that heavenly taste made with only the finest ingredients? Enjoy 24 flavors like tiger butter, orange cream, almond coconut, cherry bounce, rocky road, peanut butter, and more. Give your taste buds a treat with America's Fudge Shop, 155 East Main Street, Forest City, or call them at 828-447-2041. Hours are Wednesday through Friday, 11 to 6, Saturdays 11 to 5. And try our new flavor, tiramisu fudge.
And with me this morning in the studio in the Blue Room is Ray Rice, a martial arts artist and director and the founder of the Ray Rice Martial Arts Center, and we want to talk to him this morning. Ray, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jim. Thanks for having me on.
Glad to have you here this morning. You have a very colorful, interesting history in martial arts. Tell us a little bit. Reason I have you here is because you're about to celebrate 45 years in this industry, and you're still in one piece. I think that's great.
Part of it, one piece, mangled up sometimes.
Tell us how you got started in this.
Well, I was just my dad had me in boxing years ago when I was 12, 13-year-old, and I seen a friend of mine that's from New York, and actually his name is Charles Taylor, and his brother Jurian is in martial arts, and got me interested in it. And so I looked up the school and had to travel to Charlotte and back. It was in 1971, July, and gone through my several years of training, got the black belt in that system, and then started my own program in 1976, but I'd gone through several other instructors during that time. But since on May the 17th, 1976, I've been doing my thing here through the Association of the Japanese System.
One of the things that's noted about your school, though, and your reputation, is that how much you believe in the young people that you train. And I know you've done some adults too, but young people that you train. I've said this many times to folks, and I've said it out in the lobby just a moment ago, that the two places that I think have done more to help build and instill character in young boys and girls is South Mountain Christian Camp and the Ray Rice Martial Arts Center.
As I'd mentioned earlier, it's funny, I've worked with South Mountain Christian Group, and we've kind of teamed up over the years, but I just feel important led. I always cared about people, and when I'm working on something, I put 110% into it and try to get the best out of it. But I just care about all the people that I've met, and I hope I've changed them in some way, because I know they've changed me, and I've met a lot of people over the years that's really touched and changed my life.
How many students over the years, in those 45 years, have you taught?
There's probably been, I know, several thousand.
Yeah. And many of them still remember you fondly today from starting as a young child.
It just touches me. I had 2 or 3 people. I'm trying not to choke up here, but I had 2 or 3 that's moved away. They've grown up adults, and they got their training when they was young in the 70s and 80s, 90s from me. And every now and then they'll come in and visit, and they'll say hey, and it just touches me. I know true love is there. It's not the martial arts thing. It's just a connection you make through the relationship we shared.
What's the youngest that one can start in this training?
Well, we like to keep them 5 years and older, and still it's put a lot more gray hair in my head, but we like to keep them 5. We got a special class for kids 5 through 12, then the teens and the adults.
And what's the oldest you've ever taught?
80s.
Really?
80s, yeah. These people come in and ask, am I too old? I said, no, you'll be right in the class with me now. So.
How do you start? What, is there a level? I know that you go up all the way up to the black belt. What are the levels of training that your students have to go through?
Well, you get a different, like a beginner level, and most all systems start off as a white belt or no belt. Some schools you have to practice long enough just to earn your first belt, your white belt. And we actually used to do that. Now everybody wants a quick fix, so to speak. But you start off like a white belt, then a yellow, orange, green, blue, purple. Then there's 3 grades of brown, and then the black belt. And I always tell everybody the black belt is only the beginning. The best is yet to come when you get there. But most people put in their mind that that's the end. I said, if that was the end, you wouldn't be talking to me right now.
Many times, and many folks have seen your demonstrations when they have the Mayfest and down in Rutherford and other places where you'll come and bring some of your students and do a demonstration. That's how a lot of folks know you, is in addition to having students in your class.
Oh yeah, I love those demonstrations. We could put on a show, and it's all prearranged and for protection, and nobody gets hurt. But everybody sees it's like it's wrestling or something you see on there. They say, God, hey, you do that without getting hurt, but you just have to train, practice to control the technique and make it look good so nobody walks away limping or a bloody nose or anything like that. But still, there's some slips every now and then, but you have to watch it. But I love doing those, but things like that have kind of faded out now. It's hard to get my foot in the door in schools and things like that.
That's sad.
It is.
Now, what is the difference? You'll have to educate me now. What's the difference in karate and judo?
All right, judo, now the jiu-jitsu now, I've got a black belt in the jiu-jitsu back in the 80s and 90s, and I really like it. It's kind of, judo's a lot of the hip throws and takedowns, and then the jiu-jitsu takes it another step further, the locks and the chokes and stuff, and I really love that. It's a rough sport there. A lot of people don't like to do it, but I love it. You know, it's in the ballpark of wrestling, but the karate, most of karate is stand-up, the kicking and punching. And then when you hear judo or jiu-jitsu, you know, it's usually going down on the ground and stuff. And so you need to have both sides of the coin, I see, you know, if you're learning martial arts. But hopefully martial arts is to, you know, keep from fighting. A lot of people see it the wrong way. You know, they think, well, you're just learning how to get out there and start a fight. I said, no, it learns you how to control and get self-control. And you humble yourself. A true martial artist stays with it. Now, somebody that's dangerous, it just took a month of karate. I mean, they're going to hurt dangerous to themselves, you know. But it takes years. I tell people a lot of times I've been training all my life and still feel like a beginner at times. I just sat there and maze, and I said, you're always learning.
Now, I know you have done some things. If a young person wanted to sign up, say 8 or 9, 10-year-old want to sign up, now, do you start them in the class with the 5-year-old, or do they have a separate class, or how do you do that?
Well, I got a couple people that helps me. I got one guy, I got to recognize him, Charles Carson. He's a maintenance person, whatever, at the Carver Center. He's been with me. I hadn't been teaching a year or two, and he'd been taken somewhere else. I forget where it was at, and he liked what he's seen here, and he's been with me. I tell everybody, you see the word loyalty in the dictionary, and there's a picture of Charles right next to the word loyalty, and he's been with me all these years, and he's a really neat person. But you mentioned the different classes, 7 or 8 or 9-year-old, they'll be in the 5 to 12-year-old. We like to keep the kids. Then if there's like a older group of kids, like 8, 9, 10, we'll put somebody with those. If I got a helper there, then the younger kids, you know, it's a little more challenging for them, a 5, 6, 7-year-old. So they kind of comprehend it a different way, and it takes a little more extra focus time for them.
Yeah. You've had your picture made with a man who I've always admired on television, Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
I
thought you was going to say Jim Bishop. But anyway, yeah, Chuck Norris, he's really a neat guy. I haven't seen him. It's probably about 10 years now. He's in the association, and he was a speaker for Kick Drugs Out of America. We put several big shows on for Kick Drugs back in the 90s here. But he is what you see. He's the real deal. Yeah. A lot of these guys are phony balonies, as I say, but you got the real deal, and he's really, truly come up the ranks, and he's a good Christian man, and he means what he says, and I really like him. He's just like a Rutherford County guy.
I was going to say, he seems to be a man of faith, as you do as well. Is that something that people in your line of work generally go into, people of faith, or is that something you just believe in?
Yeah, well, you know, like I got this saying, all schools and instructors are not created equal. You know, and it's maybe turned some people away. I know it has, you know, my Christian faith, and it's sad to say for them, you know. But a lot of schools, you know, a lot of people look at it like a Eastern culture, Buddha thing or something like that, and some schools are. Like I say, all schools are not created equal, and I've seen some schools where you come in, there's a picture of Buddha or something on the wall. I said, let's get out of here. But it's just sad, their belief and stuff. But, you know, I believe in the only one and true Lord is Jesus Christ.
Does your school, are you open year-round, or do you pause for summertime?
No, we don't take off for summer. You know, most schools shut the doors, but I've always stayed open year-round, and those who can make it during the summer are there if they're able to come.
How easy is it for someone to sign up for your class?
Just a phone call or just step in. We have some students and parents that just walk in, and sign up. And we got to make sure they understand the correct days to come so we can keep the belt levels together. So somebody that's been there a year or two, it'd be difficult for someone that's just a beginner to keep up with them. And so that's the reason all the classes are chiseled out for the belt level.
Is it one day a week?
Well, twice a week.
Twice a week.
Once upon a time, the years gone by, we used to be open 5 days a week, and students is coming. They come every day, but there's so many whistles and bells, and people's got their plates full, so to speak. Now it's tough for them to get there 2 days a week, and I've just seen so much change in the culture and the people and the lifestyles, and I said, slow down and smell the roses.
Is it video games that's got young people
Oh
preoccupied?
man, I don't even have to answer that. You know the answer to that, boy. Everybody's sitting in the corner somewhere right now and playing those games. So I'm gonna get in that martial arts or whatever one day, but they're too busy wiring them thumbs out or whatever.
What's the relationship that you have with the public schools?
Well, he used to be real good. He ain't had a bad relationship or anything like that. It's just hard to get my foot in the door, but I might mess up saying this, but I believe in Jesus Christ, stuff like that. And it's hard to get in there now if you mention your faith or anything like that. But as you can see, the culture and things has destroyed our young people, and I'd love to get in there and have a character program or something like that. And they're needed. And I've seen them kind of I've observed it, and I'm not telling nobody nothing they don't already know. It's hard to get your foot in the door now. And
political correctness is about to wipe us away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Political correctness.
Well, one thing we have to admire about you is that you've kept your faith through all this over life. Because I know it would be easy for you to. Well, I need to go along with the trends, but you stood strong and courageous.
It's just, I don't mean to have a tear here, but it's just been so heartbreaking and stuff. There's so many people I've met, and I got a memorial wall, and I just look up at those pictures and names and stuff. Are just so many. I got over 100 people up there. Students that's passed away or have lost their life in accidents, and parents and stuff that's real close to me, and their spirit just empowers me to keep going. And I made a promise back in '71. I earned a black belt. I was in another system then. There's Duffy, Tommy, Belvin, and Ray Rice. We all made a pact and put our hands and palms together and said we'll never give up. And I'm the only one that's still alive and going. The other guys moved to other parts of the country, but I kept my promise, and I've kept going and keep the true martial arts spirit going.
How long are you going to do this?
Until the Lord takes me home. I don't know if I can say this over the radio, but I've had a medical report here lately, and it's not good, but I hope the Lord give me some further days in my life here to spend with the people. But so far, my health is okay, but I had a bad report just the other day, and hopefully they can fix it.
Sorry to hear that.
It's cancer.
Oh, no.
But,
well, I'm sorry to hear that, Ray. I know you've done so much for so many people.
Yeah.
But if folks wanting to sign their son up or daughter up, do you do co-ed classes?
Yes. Yeah. We got a couple that comes in with their kids. But,
if they want to sign their young person up, maybe their grandkid up, what do they come by, call, or?
Yeah, they just come by and call. I'm sorry I got shook up here. I've just had this report just a few days ago, but I'll be okay. But I'm not good at keeping secrets. I just thought I'd let it out.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, and we'll certainly keep that
I'll be
in
okay.
our thoughts and prayers.
I'm straightened up now.
What if you could were face to face right now with graduating seniors out of high school coming in? If you were face to face with them right now, what advice could you give them to help them look forward in lives to come?
Gosh, set a goal and stick to it. And I'll tell you one thing that's messed so many people up. Be careful who you choose as friends. I mean, they'll either bring you up or bring you down. So, choose your friends and companions wisely. If not, just get in your own little circle by yourself. I've just seen so many over the years that it's just destroyed their life. And just like I say, you don't start noticing these things till you get to the other end of your life. But it's so short and stuff. And choose your friends wisely, and
That's certainly important, and keep a positive attitude along the way.
Yes, yep. Yeah, just keep your chin up and keep going.
Well, Ray, I'm certainly glad you spent a lot of time with us this morning, and I wanted to have you come in because I know 45 years is a long time to do what you're doing. Most of us, like men my age, if we try something like it, we'd probably crack every bone in our bodies.
Well, it's just helped me staying with it. I don't think there's a week in my life since I was 13-year-old I have been doing this, and it just kind of keeps me motivated and going. I was into this fighting and stuff for 20 years, where you get in there and everything goes, you know. And so luckily I still got knees that'll work, but my knees are starting to tell me now, the banging and fighting and stuff. But I really enjoyed those years when I was into the knockout stuff, you know. But it was kind of brutal, but I really loved that, and I got to travel the world. You know, I was on the kickboxing U.S. team. I fought the welterweight division there, and they took me got to go to Russia twice, and went to France, and fought in Canada 5 or 6 times, and across the U.S. But it was a really neat trip, you know, and they promoted me and believed in me, and I hope I done good most of the time. So they kept me on the U.S. kickboxing team for about 10 years. So I reckon it was pretty right. Done something right. What time I could hold my body together.
Now, you're located at 140 West Main Street in downtown Florida City. Have you always been there, or did you start somewhere else?
That's good. I'm glad you mentioned it. I just think about all the different places that I started from. If people remember, way back in May of '76, I started my school across from the courthouse, and I shared a little building with her name was Sherry Wilson. They called it Patan then. It's dance studios now, but she had Patan classes, but might as well say it was dance. But I had the karate twice a week, and I got to tell this story. It's real cute, you know. Back in the day, you know, it was like you was bragging or whatever if you done any advertising or anything in the paper. I started off with 4 students, and one of them was my sister, the other one was my future brother-in-law, and I forget the other 2 guys. It's been 45 years, like I say, and I started in that building across from the courthouse, and it went on and on and on, and finally I just wound up, I think my sister, my brother-in-law, and one more is about the only one in there. And Sherry said, well, hadn't you never advertised and whatever? And I said, no, that's against the law. It's like you're bragging on yourself or something. And about 2 or 3 months went by, and students started coming in. I said, whoa, something's happening here. And she handed me a little paper, a receipt, said, you pay this is where your students are coming from. She'd run an ad herself in the paper, and I always remember, I still got the ad, and the ad was $12, a little $12 ad. Of course, it had a girl kicking on it, and that's where it started. I said, well, it does make sense to do some advertising. I'd probably give a plug to advertising here, but I started there, and then I moved down to the recreation center in Forest City, and it got kind of crazy with the basketball schedule and stuff. Was kind of in their way there. Then I moved over here on Depot Street, if you remember the Forestdale Laundry.
Yeah.
And then it was right next to the old Coca-Cola bottling company.
Yep.
And I always remember the kids would go out there and look at the Cokes as they'd be coming through the conveyor belts through the window and stuff. It was so neat. And then we moved on to Thomas Street across the street. It used to be next to Head's Bike and Key. I can remember all these places. Then we moved up to where the motorcycle, Brandon Cole, he's got a good motorcycle company there. We was right there. It used to be Haynes Jones Furniture back in the day. And then I seen the building open up on Main Street. And I've been working another job all these years. I worked at it's called Krill and Plastics, and had a really nice job and neat people down there. And there was some really good people in that part of my life that I've met. And most of them, like I say, have passed away and stuff. It really helped build my life through that company at Krill and Plastics. And there's a friend of mine, Steve Drummond, that's a plant manager, and a really neat guy and stuff. And I love those people. Almost all of them's come to pass down there. And I could tell another book on that place, the growing up I did down there at that plant. But then I moved from let me jump on the karate thing here. But the Haynes Jones building, then we moved on Main Street, and we've been in the Main Street buildings on West Main Street 140 since 1991.
Good location there too, for a lot of visibility.
Yeah,
you made some books. Speaking of books, have you thought about writing a book?
Yeah, there's people mentioned it before. There's a lot. We're just scratching the surface here. You wouldn't believe all the things that's happening and the traveling, and I got so many stories. It's just so crazy. It's just I can just think of different things when I was traveling, fighting, and me and some of the guys, we missed our plane flight, and the planes changed back and forth in Paris at one of the big airports, and I didn't know that they shut the place down or something at 7 o'clock because back in the 90s there's bomb threats or something like that, and they was shutting the airports down. And we're supposed to pick up one plane from there and go to Moscow or whatever, and we missed our airplane and stuff like that. We was trapped in that. We had to stay in that airport that night, and I remember sleeping on the metal benches and stuff, and we had to we got another flight, but it was the next morning, and I thought, man, what a bunch of dummies from North Carolina.
Well, you ought to consider writing a book, because I know you got a lot of great stories that you could tell. If in that book, it'd be a bestseller, I feel sure.
Yeah, and I want to, my mom and dad, I had the best family. My mom and dad brought me up. My dad's been gone since '92, and mom in '05. And I got a brother, Kenny, and a brother and sister, Tanya. And it's just, just enjoy your family and love each other.
Ray Rice, martial arts instructor and celebrity, and he knows it all. Unique blend of a lot of things that touch a lot of lives. I'm so glad you spent a little time with us this morning.
Jim, I appreciate you recognizing me and somebody here. I'm just fixing to go back in my circle, man. I wish just everybody, if you're in your prayers, we need to pray for each other. But pray for me, and I got some more years left in me.
We'll do that, Ray. Thank you for coming, and stay in touch with us.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
When you start writing that book, let us know.
Rutherford County, I love you. Thank you.
And I'll be back in just a moment.
For dependable tire and brake service, Tri-City Tire is a trusted Rutherford County favorite. Tri-City Tire is more than just a tire store. They carry a complete line of lawn and garden supplies, brick chips, mulch, topsoil, fertilizer, and much more. And now they also have the popular Spartan mowers. You can trust Spartan mowers for a precision cut every time. Stop by Tri-City Tire Service today at 221 Daniel Road in Forest City, or call 287-8778. There are so many insurance agencies here and there, but to find a dependable agency that you can trust, that would be Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance Agency. They are your full-service agency offering auto, business, homeowners, health, and life. Maxwell B. Hamrick is an independent insurance agent. Call them today at 286-2384. They care about their customers, and it shows. Fully equipped staff are ready to help you and answer any questions you have about insurance policies. They're located at 119 Huntley Street in Spindale. Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance Agency, serving one satisfied customer at a time.
Appreciate Ray Rice being with us in the studio. I thought it'd be fascinating and interesting to find a successful business person who's been at this a long, long time and touched a lot of family members, perhaps some of even your family members, your children, grandchildren, or even great-grandchildren might have been a student of Ray Rice over the years. So just want to pass that on. 8:52 coming up at 9:05 this morning, My Great America with Jim and Butch, and that story of Ray Rice is one of those great America stories. Someone who believes in America, who believes in the Judeo-Christian values, and we appreciate that. Got to get out of here, but U.S. stimulus check. I don't know if you got your stimulus check yet or not. I have not. Not this last one anyway. We got a letter from the president saying it's going to be coming in a few days. If you hadn't heard anything in 7 days, well, it's been 14 days, I believe, now since all that happened. But as many as 70,000 Japanese citizens may have received one of $1,400 stimulus checks approved by Congress and dispatched under this administration. The Gateway Pundit cited a Japanese language report that explains the checks arrived in Japan in the mailboxes of people who might have a link to the United States. So some of those U.S. stimulus checks are going over to Japan. The $1,400 checks were preceded by $1,200 and $600 checks distributed to help Americans cope with the COVID-19 pandemic. After the third checks were dispatched, Biden signed a letter to taxpayers falsely claiming credit for sending them $2,000, the latest $1,400 plus the $600 dispatched by President Trump. The Yahoo article in Japanese explained that some of the checks sent to Japan went to women of American nationalities, but checks also went to Japanese citizens who don't have dual American citizenship. Officials commenting on the story said the people who don't have U.S. citizenships are not eligible for the payments and should return them to Internal Revenue Service. So there you go. Maybe that's why we haven't gotten ours. Okay, 5 minutes before the hour of 9. I'm going to clear out of here, make room for My Great America coming up, the rest of the old voice, and clear the old voice out so we can have a little time to talk with Butch in My Great America. And that'll be coming up here in just a few moments. Have a great day, folks. Enjoy the beautiful weather, and join me bright and early tomorrow morning for the Friday morning edition of the Morning Wake Up Call.
When you want your ad dollars to reach the masses, call the sales team at WCAB. Call Tracy or Jim, 828-287-3356, 100.9 FM and 590 AM.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The pandemic recovery continues. The Labor Department has this morning released numbers on how many Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
The number of Americans filing first-time claims for unemployment benefits dropped again last week to 444,000. The pace of layoffs has really slowed down around the country, and a number of employers are saying they can't find enough people to work. But 444,000 is still double the number of weekly jobless claims from before the pandemic. And more than 16 million Americans remain on some kind of unemployment assistance.
In the Middle East, new rocket attacks from Gaza, new Israeli airstrikes as well. There are signs, however, the two sides are moving toward a ceasefire. President Biden has called on Israel directly to de-escalate the violence. ABC's Matt Gutman with more on continued fighting.
After the 11th straight night of explosions, Hamas officials predicting a ceasefire to come within a day or two. And this morning, Hamas continuing to fire rockets into Israel, civilians scurrying for cover. Israel's Iron Dome blocking most of the rockets. But 5 Hamas rockets making it into Israel's southern city of Sderot, destroying homes and turning cars into fireballs.
President Biden today will sign the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act into law. Vice President Harris says when the pandemic first started, the U.S. recorded 1,100 anti-Asian hate incidents.
Just about a year later, we are now up to more than 6,600. And nearly 2 in 3 were reported by women.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott signing into law one of the most restrictive abortion bills in the country. It would ban the procedure after the first fetal heartbeat, which is before most women even know they're pregnant. The man who long handled the money for the Trump Organization is now facing a second criminal investigation. Alan Weisselberg under scrutiny by both the New York Attorney General's office and the Manhattan DA's office. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm former U.S. counterterrorism officer Drew Berquist. In a one-party controlled country whose policies continue to move further to the left, it's hard to find a group willing to stand up for the right. That's why we created Mammoth Nation. We're standing strong for all Americans. Mammoth Nation is America's conservative discount club. As a member, you get great discounts, massive savings on travel, shopping, wireless, sporting goods, even prescriptions. Membership supports conservative businesses and the causes that you care about, like the Wounded Blue. For every total wellness plan purchased, Mammoth Nation will donate a plan to a police officer in need. This provides critical support to our law enforcement community. It's just one of the things that makes Mammoth Nation so great. And it's so affordable. If you join now, you get a 30% discount on an annual membership. Normally $29, this month, just $19. It can pay for itself with just one purchase, so go to mammothnation.com and become a lifetime member today.
Iran's president today claiming a major step towards in talks and resuscitating the 2015 nuclear deal and reintroducing the U.S. into the agreement. Other countries say there are still challenges, however. Leader of a violent white supremacist gang that started in the prisons of Arkansas has been sentenced to 35 years behind bars. In February, Wesley Gullett pleaded guilty to racketeering and drug charges. As the calls continue in Japan to rethink the Summer Olympics because of the coronavirus, there's also controversy about next year's Winter Games in China. ABC's Bob Woodruff says a growing movement is calling for a boycott of the Games over allegations of Chinese human rights violations against the Uyghur community.
Essentially what China has been doing is eliminating this culture. They're going very strongly against Islam. They're taking away the traditions from this ethnic group, the Uyghurs. There are forms of torture. These are the claims. And so now the world wants to react. And we've got the Olympics coming up, that there's now this power to boycott and hopefully influence what China's doing over there.
The Winter Games are set to start in early February. For years, Internet Explorer was the web browser so many people love to hate. Well, now Microsoft says it's about the end of its road. Support for Internet Explorer, which still holds about 2% of the world browser market, it's not a lot, will officially end in June of 2022. It was replaced 6 years ago by Microsoft's Edge browser. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Don't miss out on Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. If your car could use a spring cleaning, stop by for great deals on everything you need to keep your car looking new. Like Mother's California Gold Wash and Wax, just $4.99 for a 64-ounce bottle. That's a $6 savings. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sherry.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. We'll see a mostly sunny sky with warmer temperatures this afternoon. Expect highs in the mid to upper 80s for today. Mostly clear skies staying mild overnight tonight. Will be in the upper 50s Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see another mostly sunny sky with temperatures in the low to mid 80s for highs. But then temperatures soar this weekend. Upper 80s and low 90s on Saturday. Low 90s potentially for everyone on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, here are Jim and Butch. Good morning, Butch.
Here are Jim and Butch.
Booch.
Okay, you've wanted to say that, and people are going to have no idea what you're talking about. The Israelis could never get Butch right, and so they used to call me Booch. Booch, like O-O-O-O-O. I think I told you this, and by the way, we've had tremendous feedback from our interview with Uri Steinberg. He's agreed he'll be the My Great America correspondent in Israel. And Jim, it's really been on my heart after we left that program. There are folks that we've got around the country that we have a good relationship with that are subject matter experts. And, God may want us to put together a group of stringers that can give us content and perspectives. I know one person I've talked about us having on, we'll have on soon. It's my dear friend Larry Ross, who for 36 years was the official spokesperson for Billy Graham.
Oh, yes.
And
I recognize that name.
Larry's got he's tall, too. He's 6'7". We went to Wheaton College together, and what's interesting is that he got his start with General Motors in their PR department coming out of Wheaton College. But then you know who his first spokesperson client was?
Who's that?
Joe DiMaggio.
Really?
Yeah, Larry was the person that was involved in that whole Mr. Coffee campaign that involved Joe DiMaggio, the great baseball player. But, Jim, My Great America with Jim and Butch is our opportunity to focus attention on the unshakable truths in God's Word and also positive things that are happening in our county. We had one that just happened just now. Ray was so open-hearted, your guest that you just had on.
Oh, yes.
So open-hearted, and it was so clear to me again that the friendships you have forged, Jim, here in the county are so strong and durable and long-standing. And one of the byproducts of old age said you have the opportunity to have these friends that you've known for so many years, right? You and Ray have known each other how long?
Oh, about 45 years, and he's one of those guys that I don't see often, but I know he's been there, and I know he's touched a lot of lives through his school of karate. Not only that, but he doesn't hesitate about letting folks know that he's Christ-centered life. He lives a Christ-centered life, and he wants to exemplify that to his young boys and girls. Let them know that there's more to life than just being physically fit. You got to have Christ in your heart and life to really accomplish something.
Well, and it's so strong. And of course, as it would happen, I had the opportunity to hear him share and he shared on the air about some physical difficulties that he's having and a bad report that he got from the doctor. And when you're somebody who follows Jesus, you listen to his voice and you do his will. It was really strong on my heart. We were to pray with him before he left, and so right here at WCAB, we had the opportunity to pray. I had the opportunity to pray with, Todd jumped up and Tracy jumped up, and folks, that's the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be instant in season and out of season. When a person's pouring out their heart like that, it's not that we go there in a soulish place, but we bring them life and help and hope. So I reminded them, God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And it also says in Scripture, whose report are you going to believe? We're going to believe the report of the Lord. And so that was just a precious opportunity to flow in God's Spirit right here in the Blue Room, from the Blue Room to the lobby and out the door. And it's one of the things I love about, Jim, about you, is that you've given the freedom just to be who I am. And you haven't said, okay, Butch, here's a card with the 7 things you can and you can't do. There's no WCAB long list of requirements that way.
Well, it's good, and that's what Christian friends are for, to uplift each other and support them and be there for them instantaneously if we need to, not just wait forever and ever to do it. Let's do it right now.
Well, and you know, I had my maternal side of the family immigrated through Ellis Island from Sweden. And my grandmother, we called her Mumu, and the reason we called her Mumu is because in Swedish it's mor. But when you're a little child, you can't roll your R that way, so we called her Mumu. Mumu died when she was 99, but she reminded me, she had maxims that would come out, pithy little statements, and she reminded me one time, she said, Butch, you can laugh with anyone, but you cry with friends.
I like that.
And I thought that was so good. You know, Jim, the other thing that she did, she was a morality watchdog. She had something in her heart that God gave her. When something wasn't right in my life, she had that radar to know. You know what she would do? She would come and have what I call moo-moo moments. You know what moo-moo moments were? Put your arms out for a second. She would grab me by my wrist. She was only 5 feet tall, and hold my wrist and talk to me like this and wouldn't let go. And she would deliver truth. But you know what? It's truth that sets us free. And you know what, folks?
Those things in those times will never leave you.
They will never, ever leave. And I think I told the story. It made me feel good. And if I did, you know, I'm getting to that place. Real friends tell friends if they've heard a story before. So if you ever hear a story that I've shared before, Jim, just pleasantly say to me, you know what, Butch, and I'm sure it's going to be as good the second time as it was the first, and I've heard it before. But it was so wonderful. I used to go see her in the waning years of her life up at a Mennonite retirement center in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And by the way, folks, you need to redeem the time and snatch the moments while you have them. We're not promised tomorrow. And the times that I spent with my father in the waning days of his life, and the times that I spent with my grandfather and my grandmother, I will never trade those things. And regret is a terrible thing to live with. So I flew out there from Colorado to meet with her, and I snuck in when she was doing her nap, and she woke up. Have you heard this? Okay. So she was taking her nap. She didn't know I was coming, and she was probably at that point 97. And I snuck in, and I knelt down next to her. And I leaned over and I kissed her on the cheek, and her eyes opened up. And you know what the first thing she said was? Am I in heaven? Well, no, it made me feel really good, because I thought if she's asking is she in heaven and she sees me there, that was an encouragement. Because you know what, folks? There's only one way to be in heaven, and that's to be born again. That's a point of different discussion, but Jesus was very clear. You must be born again. So don't be involved in false religion. Make sure you have a personal, abiding, committed, discipled relationship with Jesus. You know, Jim, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And all you have to do is listen to Jim in the morning to know that that's true. There's a whole lot that's going on. And the devil would have us get caught in the swirling eddies, the undertow, and the dark vortex of losing hope out there. But you know what? I was in a scripture here recently, and it really struck me. And then I read a little devotional by a former client of mine. He's an African-American pastor named Tony Evans.
Know the name.
Tony at Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship. I have the privilege to take he and his now deceased wife to Israel on their first trip there. They're there in the Dallas, Texas area. But he wrote something recently that was in Decision Magazine, which, of course, is the iconic flagship publication for the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. Here's what he said. What we are seeing in our culture, our country, and perhaps even in your home is what it looks like when there is a distance between God, a person, or a people. The closer the God of the Bible is to a situation, the more ordered the situation becomes. The further God is from a situation, the more chaotic it will become. Isn't that powerful?
How truthful. How truthful.
Right. And so, in other words, he preached one time, and he said, the body of Christ, those who follow Jesus, who follow Jesus by the inspired word of God that we have, the body of Christ is designed to be the immunity system in our culture. And there's a spiritual AIDS that's out there today. And in part, it's because the church hasn't done what the church has been called to do, to be an immune system in our culture. And of course, all of this goes back also to some very powerful words that are in 2 Chronicles 15, starting in verse 3. Now, for a long time, Israel was without the true God, without a teaching priest, and without law. But when they in their trouble turned to the Lord, the God of Israel, and in desperation earnestly sought him, he was found by them. And in those times there was no peace to him who went out, nor to him who came in, but great vexing, afflictions, and disturbances were upon all the inhabitants of the country. Nation was broke in pieces against nation, the city against city, for God vexed and troubled them with all sorts of adversity. Be strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak and slack, for your work shall be rewarded. We have kicked God out of public schools. We have redefined marriage. We have said that the truth is a lie and the lies are truth. We have moved all the ancient landmarks, and then we wake up in the morning and ask the poignant question,
Why?
What happened? What happened? Right, Jim?
That's exactly right. And no, you said we kicked religion out of school. In many places, we've also kicked God out of churches.
Right.
And a lot of churches are not preaching the gospel anymore. They're preaching social justice.
Right. And I know this from my own personal experience. I know it from my own direct personal experience, that when God becomes an it, and when Jesus becomes an historic figure that you study, there's no power, there's no life. And as a nation, when we relegate God to some sort of intrusion on matters of public affairs, Jim, we are in serious, serious trouble. And so the clarion call that needs to go out with an acknowledgement that God is still at work in our world, our country, and our county, is that there are consequences to our actions. There are consequences to our actions. And as a nation, we have got to get back to some of the first fruits and the roots of what this nation was all about. And Jim, I am always so incredibly moved and motivated when I go back and read some of the original charters for states that we have, even liberal states, democratic states in our country. For example, from the very first colony at Jamestown to the Pennsylvania Charter of Privileges granted to William Penn in 1701, where it says all persons. This is the Pennsylvania Charter of Privileges that was granted to William Penn in 1701. All persons who profess to believe in Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world, shall be capable to serve this government in any capacity, both legislatively and executively. The Bible was used as the rule of life in all of the colonies. It wasn't like, well, we'll get around to it, that's a historic book. It was the rule of life. Every evidence indicates the profound effect God's word had on the early Americans. Take, for example, the Rhode Island Charter of 1683. Rhode Island's not like Texas. You know, it's a liberal bastion in many respects. This is from the Rhode Island Charter of 1683. We submit our person, our lives and estates under our Lord Jesus Christ, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and to all those perfect and most absolute laws given by God through his holy word. That's the charter that created Rhode Island.
That's amazing.
Right, and so while we've got lots of people saying, hey, we've got new history books, we're going to scrub things out and change things, let's get back to the first truths, let's get back to the first fruits, and let's remember again that sometimes a plant, you know, I love to garden. I wrote one time that the plants are quiet and the dirt never lies. I think I was in a really bad place when I wrote that little piece of poetry. But you know what? You can find a plant that's withering, but you trim it, you cut it, you fertilize it, you till around it, and a plant that seems like it's dying can come to life again, Jim, and our county can come to life again as truth is brought to bear. Our nation can come to life again. Don't you believe that?
Absolutely, and it does bother me to think about how the states have pulled away from this charters that you've just read about, and to pull up an old Southern expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And we weren't broke when they founded these states and founded this country. It was a molding and a making after God's laws, God's will, the Judeo-Christian values. Now we're wanting to change all of that, change it to more current. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's go back to our roots.
Exactly, and it's making the main thing, as you often say. And you know what? You have often said this too, that when we decide that we're greater and that things need to be different, then all of the foundational elements, says in the Old Testament, don't move the ancient landmarks.
Right.
And we have just had a full bore ramp up the bulldozers. Let's knock down, metaphorically speaking, all of the pillars of what's made our nation great. And look, I'm not discounting the fact that there are prejudiced people and there's racism still. I encountered it at the Shelby Cafe yesterday.
Really?
Yes, I overheard a couple that was sitting next to me, and they were saying, God didn't put it on my heart to correct them, but they were saying things that were inappropriate, rude, and racist. So there is racism. I'm going to acknowledge that. But we do not honor God, honor our history, our legacy, or the people that are being discriminated against by pulling out a fire hose of accusation and saying, let's scrub everything away. What we do there is we actually create the hotbed towards greater injury, greater injustice, greater prejudice. And God makes it very clear through the acknowledgement of truth, there will be repentance and redemption will come. So you and I have got to keep loading up our flare guns, Jim, and in the dark night of mistruth, manipulated facts, and it's like you and I are out in an ocean in a sea of fake news, and it's you and I that are in that raft together, and I'm leaning over and saying, Jim, it's time for us to break out another flare and pop out truth into the county. That's what we're trying to do.
And we never know either of these moments we spend together, which are very brief and very short. We never know what seeds are being planted somewhere out there, because we got a worldwide connection with the World Wide Web. We don't know who's watching it, where they are, maybe by accident, maybe by choice, but we don't know what kind of seeds are being planted and what kind of seeds are going to grow from hopefully positive comments that we're making here.
Well, I'll give you one example of somebody. There was somebody, a college roommate of mine. He was Armenian from the Boston, Massachusetts area. Now he's a real estate developer. Eddie Hartunian was his name. Eddie Hartunian. And Eddie found this program. We haven't talked since we graduated from Wheaton College in 1978. He found this program, and because of that, he and I have now reconnected with each other. Now, an interesting little aside: he was 5'9" and was a receiver. He was one of those on the football team. I, of course, was intercollegiate debater, and I was flying around the country at debate tournaments every weekend. And I would get back. I don't know that I've ever shared this with anybody. I'd get back, and he was so focused on his football. We would be in our small little room there at McManus Hall, and he would say, "Let's play." I'd say, and the first time he did this, play what? He said, "Let's play 4th and goal. I'll get the football, get on the other side of the room, and you stand in front of your bed, and I'll try to break through you." And here he is, like a football player, and I was my football was more up here. My sports was more. So we used to play this game, much to the chagrin of the resident assistants, called 4th and goal, where he would try to bowl over me, and I don't know why I did it, except that I had a mercy gift and knew he was trying to, I don't know, build a friendship. Jim, I was also reflecting on the fact that just as we proclaim that God can bring light and life to this county, and bring light and life to this country, and bring light and life to the world, even in the midst of that morass in the Middle East right now. And we've had so many positive texts and responses to our interview with Ori Steinberg, and we're going to have him. He agreed. He's going to be our My Great America correspondent in Israel, and we just I don't know that we've got something WYAF doesn't have. We've got something that local stations don't have. But he was thrilled to have the opportunity to share his heart. And in the spirit of that, I'm supposed to give you something. This is a primer for you to learn Hebrew. Okay, so that's your book that's going to teach you the Hebrew language.
Sure.
And at some point, Jim, what would be great, wouldn't it, is if you could ask him a question in Hebrew.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, and my church, Word of Faith Fellowship, actually has a number of songs. We have a dear friend in Israel named Mike Cohen. And last night, by the way, and Mike has been here a number of times for Rutherford County. Last night, we actually filmed at our church some short vignettes telling Israel, we stand with you and you have a right to defend yourself. Right here in Rutherford County,
that's good.
Our little church did some videos that are being sent over to Israel telling the people, look, you have a right to defend yourself. It's the only stable democracy in the Middle East. It's been a friend of the United States, a loyal friend, since its founding in 1948. And, you're now becoming part of a clan, of a tribe, of a group. And, Uri asked me to do this. So I have given you this Hebrew language book. The onus is on you to learn a couple of phrases.
This is the alphabet?
Yes, it's the alphabet here. This is for children, so you can start.
Well, that should be right down my line.
You can start simply there. But our friend Mike Cohen taught us songs in Hebrew that we sing at our church, because we're firm believers at Word of Faith Fellowship that God is the God of Israel, that he picked a people and a place, that the God of the universe is not random, not accidental, not incidental, but picked a people and a place, and that modern-day Israel, as defined in Scripture, is the land of the Bible, and that they are God's chosen people. And it's through Israel that Jesus, who we serve and long to know and love intimately, came. And so we are indebted because of that. And you know what, folks, I'm often asked, Butch, what's the core message or motivation that you have, even with this program? And just like we prayed with our dear friend here recently, we only have 2 assignments in life, Jim. Just 2. It's to know him and to make him known. Life gets pretty simple, and for somebody that's dealt with all the devils and demonic forces of making things complicated, you're hearing a person who's dealt with that and is still getting a lot of deliverance from that. There are 2 primary assignments we have every day: to know him and to make him known. And when I was doing some moving for my mother recently, let me tell you how personal this gets. I went through a box of things. You know what I found? You know what I found in one of her boxes?
No.
This is a report from Riverside Hospital. And the date for this was the 6th of September at 3:32 in the morning, 2018. That's 8 years ago. There was a patient that was admitted that the ambulance picked up. His blood alcohol level was 0.34. He was unconscious. He had acute alcohol intoxication, suicidal ideation, aspiration risk, infection risk. He was in pain. You know who that was? It was me.
Was that you?
It was me, Jim.
Oh, wow.
That was me. So you know what? Whenever you despair about your life, whenever you despair about our nation, whenever you despair about our county, there's a guy named Butch, or Butch if you're Israeli, who's not going to forget. That's a stone of remembrance for me.
Sure.
That in despair, I was trying to deal with my own problems. I was trying to drown out my own pain. And it wasn't until God, in his miraculous plan, brought me to this little small town friendly Rutherford County with a people and a tribe at a church that I love, with a pastor who speaks into my life weekly, that I found health and hope and life. And you know what? If you're listening today, our program is not an evangelistic program, but we're followers of Jesus. If you're listening today and you look at the country and you go, we're too far gone. Or you look at your life and you say, we're too far gone. You look at situations that you're in and say, we're too far gone. I'm living proof that you can be right up on the edge and God can snatch you. It says in the book of Jude that some will be snatched out of the fire. I was snatched out of the fire. The day this happened, Jim, I sat at a bar and I drank myself into oblivion. And we don't honor the devil with these stories. We honor Jesus. And I went out on a pier. It's one of the longest piers that is there on the East Coast, James River Pier. And I had in my head, you know what, I'm going to try to swim out to where one of those high-tension wires were. And God in his mercy had me collapse unconscious. Before that happened, the ambulance picked me up and was in the hospital for 3 or 4 days. That's your friend Butch. And so, what is life worth to me? Everything. Who do I acknowledge as having given it back to me? Jesus Christ. And that's why each and every day, And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to bring light and life in this little program we have, My Great America.
And you had people and friends and family that didn't give up on you.
Right.
Don't ever give up on your friends.
Don't give up on your friends. Don't give up on our county. Don't give up on our country. And as we acknowledge God and we cry out from the depth of our heart, he will acknowledge those cries, and we can make America great again.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. We'll see a mostly sunny sky with warmer temperatures this afternoon. Expect highs in the mid to upper 80s for today. Mostly clear skies staying mild overnight tonight. Will be in the upper 50s Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see another mostly sunny sky with temperatures in the low to mid 80s for highs. But then temperatures soar this weekend. Upper 80s and low 90s on Saturday. Low 90s potentially for everyone on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
This is for those who always show they care, who told their kids everyone 12 and older is eligible for a COVID vaccine. Those who explain to their cousins that vaccines prevent nearly 100% of hospitalizations and deaths from COVID-19.